Hello friends and welcome back. Today I am making simple New York-style sourdough bagels. These bagels have an incredible chewy texture and amazing flavor. They are chewier than the classic East version and have a deliciously crisp crust. The best part, you can make a batch, cut them in half, freeze them, and whenever you want, just pop one in the toaster. They'll taste just like they are freshly baked. Okay, let's get started. First, we feed the starter. Combine 50 grams of sourdough starter, 60 grams of strong white flour with at least 11% protein, and 60 grams of water. Mix it well until smooth, cover it, and let it sit until it's bubbly and active. Next, in a large bowl, pour in 220 grams of water. Add 150 grams of active starter and mix well until the starter is completely dissolved. This ensures it's evenly distributed before we add the rest of the ingredients. After dissolving the starter, add 10 grams of sugar and 10 grams of malt syrup. If you don't have malt syrup, you can substitute it with molasses or honey. Mix everything well until combined. Next, add 12 grams of salt and mix again. Then add 50 grams of whole wheat flour and mix until smooth. Finally, add 400 grams of strong white flour and mix everything together until a rough dough forms. Once the dough comes together, it's time to knead. Keep in mind, this dough is low hydration, meaning it doesn't have much water, so it will feel quite stiff and a bit challenging to work with. You will need to knead it by hands for at least 10 minutes. If you have a stand mixer, this part will be much quicker and easier, but I'll show you how to knead by hands for those without one. So, work the dough firmly, folding and pressing it until it becomes soft and smooth. It will take some effort, so don't give up. To check if it's ready, perform the gluten window test. Stretch a small piece of dough. It won't stretch as much as higher hydration dough, but it should hold together without tearing. If it does, your dough is ready for the next step. Now the dough is ready, place it in a lightly oiled bowl to prevent sticking. Cover it with a clean kitchen towel or plastic wrap and let it proof in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. The dough will relax, rise slightly, and you will notice some bubbles forming at the bottom, showing it's ready for the next step. After that, transfer the dough to the refrigerator and let it cold ferment for at least 10 hours or overnight. Once the dough has chilled, take it out of the fridge and divide it into 6 equal pieces, each weighing approximately 130 grams. Roll each piece into a tight ball by tucking the edges underneath and rolling it on your work surface. This creates tension in the dough, which helps the bagels hold their shape. After that, cover the dough balls with a clean towel and let them rest for 15 minutes to relax before shaping. After the dough balls has rested, it's time to shape the bagels. Take each ball and poke your fingers through the center to create a hole. Gently stretch and rotate the dough to widen the hole, aiming for about 2 inches in diameter. Place the shaped bagels on a tray dusted with semolina flour or lined with parchment paper to prevent sticking. Cover them with a clean towel and let them rest at room temperature for about 2 hours. During this time, they will look fluffy and slightly proofed, ready for the next step. Next, bring a large pot of water to a boil and add 1 tablespoon of honey and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Gently lower the bagels into the water, boiling each one for about 30 seconds per side. This step helps create the signature chewy texture and shiny crust. Once boiled, transfer the bagels to a wire rack to drain and dry slightly. While they are still damp, sprinkle your favorite toppings like sesame seeds, poppy seeds, or everything bagel seasoning onto each bagel and gently press them into the dough. For a shinier finish and to help the seeds stick better, I recommend brushing each bagel with beaten egg before adding the toppings, but I forgot to do this step. Now place the bagels on a parchment-lined baking sheet, slightly sprinkle with semolina flour. Bake them in a preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes. If they are baking unevenly, rotate the tray halfway through to ensure they brown evenly. The bagels are ready where they are golden brown with a crisp crust. Once the bagels are baked to perfection, remove them from the oven and let them cool on a wire rack for at least 15 minutes. This allows the crust to set and the inside to finish steaming. Now they are ready to enjoy. Perfect on their oven, toasted with butter or topped with your favorite spread. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.